We are the weirdos, mister.
A lot of people truly want the idea of cheating in a relationship to just be like, oh, I cheated or they cheated, I'm out. But I think a lot of people really just want like cheating to be this like very black and white situation. And I think a lot of times people are thinking in terms of serial cheaters. Again, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people are thinking in terms of serial cheaters, people who like are constantly cheating on you. Obviously get the fuck out of that because they're never going to stop doing it. But we're also neglecting the way in which people do have relationship issues, problems. Yes, should people break up before that? Of course. But human beings are complicated and they're not easy to decipher and figure out. And so I think in our regular everyday lives, we do have one thought about how we would do things, but our reality is often completely different. There is some sunk cost fallacy in it, but there's also like you have children, you have a relationship that you have built together for a long time, a life that you have built together, finances that you've put together. It becomes more about like all of these other things as well, not just the cheating, right? So regular everyday people I run into in real life who have taken back a spouse who cheated for all of these extra things. Do they sometimes end up breaking up anyway? Yes. Because the realization that they stuck with somebody for as long as they did, wild. It's one of the reasons that I really do enjoy the movie He's Just Not That Into You. There is a whole scene, ooh, my food's ready, with Jennifer Connelly's character, with that other man that people used to find attractive, Bradley Cooper, that's it. And she finds out he's cheated on her. She is ready to take him back. However, they've been having construction done in their house for a very long period of time. And when she finds his cigarettes that she's been throughout the film asking him if he has smoked, and he's like, no, I didn't smoke. I don't smoke. I didn't do any smoking. It's really important to her that no one smokes because her dad died of cancer and he smoked. And when she finds that, hi Hermie, when she ends up finding the cigarette butt, that is what fucking gets her to be like, I actually cannot move past this. The cheating I could move past because I felt like maybe I had lost myself in doing all of these other things and trying to prep for a baby and do all of this stuff. And I wasn't really paying attention to you in our relationship. However, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is the thing, because this is more important to me. And so she does. She's like, let's get a divorce. So I say all of that to say, we're going to take a look, okay, at Rock Bottom with Ned Fulmer, which surprisingly already has like 64,000 subscribers. And it turns out what I need to do to be able to get my channel up and off the ground is to have a cheating scandal. But first I need to be popular, which I'm not. Don't anybody start singing Popular from Wicked. Listen, please don't do that to me. I can't deal with it. It's actually going to hurt my feelings.
Popular.
Let us get into the glory, the beauty that will be this podcast. I do feel like he painted himself as the wife guy. He did. So for anybody who doesn't know, he was part of the Try Guys who have since they have new members. I wasn't a Try Guy person. And I'm going to say that part of it is just because like it wasn't for me. Do you know what I mean? It's not just because I'm black. It just wasn't, I don't care about guys doing anything generally. No hate. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I just don't, that's not my content. But he was wife guy and we're going to watch this together and I'm not going to speed it up. So buckle up, Buttercup. I'm sorry. I just felt like saying it. Let's hope that this works the way that I anticipate it working. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer.
Hi.
3 years ago, I cheated on my wife with my producer.
I'm sorry, I'm going to pause right immediately because like, why is he trying so hard to make himself look sad? He's like, hi, I'm Ned Fulmer. Like, bitch, if you don't fucking stop it. Oh my God, why did anybody let you do this?
It became a massive public scandal that caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I know that I represented myself as a kind of wife guy.
Okay, I'm trying not to throw up because I'm already so annoyed. Like, I'm trying not to be annoyed by him behaving like this, but like, it's irritating. He sounds like he's under duress. Listen, thank you. His voice is a lot deeper than I remember it being and how you'd expect based on how he looks. Ned, blink twice if you're being held hostage, period. Like, who told you to do this? Why? Because it's called A Conversation with Ariel Fulmer, his ex-wife. Like, what? Okay.
Who talked about his relationship and put that out there for public consumption. And you, as a viewer, I know that I broke your trust. I betrayed my spouse, co-workers, friends, family, and I betrayed you.
I'm sorry, am I supposed to feel bad right now? Is that what is supposed to be happening? Am I supposed to be like, oh, poor guy, poor fella, poor fella? Yes, Issa, he is in fact apologizing to the viewers for cheating on his wife. And I lied. I am gonna have to speed it up just like a smidge because I can't actually handle the slow. I'm gonna just do 1.25, but I can turn on the captions.
And I know it's not just about cheating, that I was a company owner and having a relationship with a producer. I was engaged and friends with all of our friends and coworkers. It was understandably a messy and devastating situation for everyone involved. And I was the cause of it.
Okay. And?
I did that. And I can't change it. I can't change the past.
Oh no, my understanding is he's actually going to talk to her. I wish he hadn't started it with any of this. Like, we know you can't change the past. Have I seen, many a show about people going into the past? Like, what was that show? Quantum Leap? Yes. Do I think that that's reality? Absolutely not. Did I watch Sliders? Going into different dimensions? Yes. Do I think that that's reality? No. Do I think billionaires want it to be so they can escape all of us poors with all of their money and leave us on this smoking crater? Yes.
Can own it and accept it and try to change how I show up differently in the future.
No.
So. He
swallowed so hard. I don't understand this intro. It's giving, it is actually giving me the ick because I'm just like, just get into it. Like, stop trying to apologize. I need people to stop trying to apologize because, like, I don't feel like you're actually sorry. And it's not, I feel like you're sorry you got caught publicly, and that's fine. You can be sorry that you got caught publicly. I just wish people would just say that, like, out loud. Be like, I am embarrassed that I got caught publicly fucking around. I would have preferred it to have been a private matter where I could fuck around privately. But I'm an idiot, and I was just very publicly cheating. So anyways, here's the conversation with my ex-wife.
I wanted to say that I'm sorry. I hurt you. And I hope to make amends over time. And one step is to publicly witness the pain of my partner, Ariel. This is a conversation with Ariel in this video. It's painful at times. It's honest, vulnerable, brutal, but it's necessary for her to move forward, and I'm grateful for the chance to witness it.
It's necessary for her. Okay.
As disappointed as we were that something so private and painful became such a public spectacle, I get why people...
Hold on. Calling it rock bottom, knowing who he is in the public eye, feels like victim mentality headed down the alt-right pipeline. It feels like a dog whistle. Yes. And here's the thing. I need people to really like this. I'm just going to throw this in here just to really stop saying that the left canceled everybody and like blah, blah, blah. Cause that's a conversation for another day. Part of this conversation, it is true. Stop saying it. Nobody got canceled. Everybody still had their shows. Everybody still had their shit. A lot of people ended up making a lot of money. So nobody was actually canceled. Trying to bring people in to take responsibility for their actions is one thing. I do not like and I don't think I've really publicly condoned this concept of people doxing folks and trying to get people fired. I don't believe in that. But like you are a public figure and you publicly cheated on your wife after you were very publicly a wife guy. You don't have to apologize to me. And I think it's weird that you're doing that at all. And also, yes, calling it rock bottom. I feel like we're about to get a bunch of like canceled comedians who are like, I can't call people slurs anymore, and that's why comedy is dead.
We're so outraged, and I understand that is the reason that she can't move forward with any sort of public thing without addressing this. So this is that. This is a conversation where we answer your questions. We share what we've been up to these last 3 years and what you can expect from us moving forward. It's about an hour long. And I know that from my perspective, I want to tell stories of curiosity and empathy. And I want them to be meaningful and have value in people's lives. So I hope that you find this impactful. So please join me for this conversation with Ariel Fulmer.
He does look like he is being held hostage. He's like, please join me. I'm like, oh my God, I drink cat and I should have got drinks for this. It's my own fault. It's fine. It's Sober Thursday.
Well, here we are.
Back again.
Again. It feels weird. It feels a little awkward.
Yeah. Back in a podcasting room.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just a quick note. Do they know that their equipment is having a feedback womb? Do they know that? Well, does he know that? I'm sure if she had been part of this, she would have fixed it. But anyways.
certainly had a lot of conversations where we've sat like this.
Yeah, that's true.
But not, conversations that are meant for the public.
Mm-hmm. Is it strange to think that people are watching this and listening to it rather than just being in like a therapy setting?
Oh, heck yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, yeah. I mean,
I'm also going to bring the speed back down.
I'm on the verge of standing up and walking out of this room.
Good.
Absolutely.
Same.
I'm like, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing? But no, I feel like this is a necessary thing.
Yeah, we've kind of been just keeping our lives very private for the last 3 years.
We have.
Just almost hiding from the world.
We've been hiding. We've been hiding from the world.
She has been forced to hide because of what you've done. I just wanted to throw that out there. My personal opinion, obviously, we have a whole other hour of this shit to go. She's doing this because, like he said, she can't move forward, but she can't do anything publicly because she is still the woman who was publicly cheated on. This is why I keep men deserve nothing. This is why heterosexuality is a curse. Listen, get mad at me if you will, but she can't. She's the one who has to take the brunt of the humiliation, right? He'll move forward. If he didn't even do this at all, he would be able to move forward and have his shitty little podcast. But she's the one who can't actually do something because her comments will be absolutely filled with people being like, "Oh my God, how are you doing after he cheated on you? How's the baby after he cheated on you? Is it embarrassing?" She's I'm hoping she rakes him over the coals, but if she does, then he'd never have posted this. I believe that she probably does. And he has to take it. I feel like they're having a therapy session publicly, which I would never do. Because I'm too volatile, I think. she needed this, as she seems completely uncomfortable with the idea of talking about this on camera. Yeah. I do think that if she wanted to do anything in the public eye again, if she wanted to do her own YouTube channel or anything like that, like it's difficult for her to be able to move forward because, like, again, justice for Meg Ryan. Whenever these like things happen, it's inevitably, even if the man is the one who cheated, it's inevitably her that loses everything. Like, he just moves forward. And she's the one left holding this bag of being inadequate or whatever it is that, you know, society deems a woman whenever she is cheated on. If a woman is cheated on, she obviously wasn't doing enough in the relationship. This is patriarchy at work. She obviously wasn't doing enough. She wasn't giving him enough sex. She wasn't making enough food. She wasn't staying pretty enough, like all of these things. If she cheats on him, she's a hua and she's for the streets. Like, no matter what, it's always going to be her fault. So, like, she, I think, wanted this to be able to at least be able to say her piece, and if whatever she does after that, it's what she can do, you know.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of great.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of great to be super private.
And it's ironic because we don't stop becoming recognizable figures. People still come up to us, people still recognize us. And to the extent that we're kind of moving forward in our lives, that's something that you've talked about. It's like, how can I move forward in my life without people knowing the next part of my story if they're still stuck on the 2022 part of my story?
That's kind of the thing, isn't it? And that's the whole reason that we're here, because we're stuck in 2022.
Yeah, at least as far as they know.
Exactly. we have moved on with our lives.
Yeah, we've moved on for a while
We
now.
have moved on with our lives. But like, as far as everybody else is concerned, we're still stuck in 2022.
Yeah.
I do like that she brought this up because it's something I've been saying for a while. Like, when I was talking about Nick is not green, and all the things that he's gone through, and varying other YouTube personalities. One of the things that I'm always bringing up is, like, we'll say, like, oh, well, until they change, I'm not going there. And the thing is, many people don't check back to see. Right. So we all get stuck as viewers, like, collectively, not everyone, but just a collective we get stuck in who they were and what they did. So there's no real forward movement for a lot of people. Obviously, it depends on what you did, of course. But, like, there's no real forward movement because you are stuck at this point where people remember you did a thing. You said something wrong, you did something embarrassing, or like whatever. And so you can't really move past that, even if you're showing that you've changed. And obviously, it completely depends on what you did. And so, like, when we see people do something racist, something cheaty, or like is currently going on with some Twitch streamer, a dead body was found, and I just don't really want to delve into that because that seems depressing and upsetting for my spirit. But we as the viewers tend to, like, write you off, and then we just, like, don't come back. We get mad. We're like, I'm not coming back. Like me, and I'm guilty of this too. I have no idea what's going on with the Shits and Gigs podcast. It doesn't even get suggested to me because I was like, yeah, fuck you guys. But for me, they had been doing a lot of questionable shit, and then them going on a white supremacist podcast and then just, like, laughing at black women was my final, like, okay, that's enough. That's enough, right? So it just feels like Issa said, the tone is just so different between the two of them. She seems like she's genuinely moving on, and he sounds like he's trying to go, see, this is the past, so stop bringing it up. Yes. Hers is very much like, we have moved on. Our lives have moved forward. The viewers are stuck here. And most of it is because you suck and won't let go of certain things. Is how I'm looking at it. Algorithm sliding makes it easy to lose track of stories for sure. Yes. Oh, siloing. Sorry. It does. Because, like, you know, I will say, do not recommend this channel to me anymore. I don't give a fuck. I've unsubscribed. And the thing is too, because Shits and Gigs is a Black podcast, if I say don't recommend, like, it just disappears. They don't even bother trying to re-recommend that to me. So, and because I stopped watching it, interestingly enough, I don't see The Basement Yard anymore. So it's very interesting to watch the way that the algorithm moves.
And, you know, that brings us to the whole reason that we're here and the reason that we can't walk out of this room, because we live in a social world, right? And we can't move on with our lives if we don't, you know, move on publicly.
Like publicly reestablish the context of who we are, how we relate to each other after being so public with our relationship before.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a really strange thing, actually, like that we can't do anything publicly without kind of addressing this.
And I would like to just say, another interruption, as I do. I personally, this is why whenever I do date, I very specifically tell a person I'm dating, I do not want this on the internet at all. I don't want it in a Discord. I don't want you posting pictures of us. I don't want any of it. A lot of people just don't get it. And it's why I stay single. Because for me, that's something I want to keep private in between us. I don't want it becoming for the streets. I don't want the public to know that we're together. I want the public to just like know me as me and you as you, and we just do our thing, and like that's that. Because if we should break up, which we probably will, because I'm a fucking nightmare. I don't need it to be everybody's business. I don't need everybody trying to choose sides, trying to figure out who they need to talk to. I don't want people feeling like they can't come to one or the other streams. Like none of that. I don't want that. You know what I mean? Oh, hi. Hey, hello. It's me, PNG Audra, and I am just here to remind you, because I never do, if you're not subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe. And most importantly, big ups to my channel members, my patrons, and everybody over on Twitch. Thank you all. Without y'all, this would not be possible. Now let's get back into the video. So,
First.
well, yeah, I mean, in 2022, it got so big. Right? The whole scandal, it grew and grew and grew and grew, to the point where it just became this thing that just like got so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just sort of hid away from it, you know?
sorry, Hermie.
Same.
And going completely dark was the only thing that I could think to do. And for the last 3 years, I've just hidden behind the scandal, you know? And now, like, now I can't get out from behind it.
Yeah, because it's a big step to like sit down and do what we're doing and to talk about it.
Right. But even like going out in public with like my kids or just going out to dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing that people see is the scandal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big loss.
It's a big loss, but it's also
That, Amy, I feel like I can imagine he thought her cosign would give a chunk of his old fans an excuse to get back on board. And it will. We'll go look at the comments at the end of this, but it will give people an excuse to be like, see, he's apologized. And that's fine. I have recognized, maturing is recognizing that not every single person is going to behave like because obviously if they did, the world would be in a different state right now instead of complete disarray. But the thing is, if people want to like someone, they want to like them. And that's okay. You are allowed to do that. But here's the thing that you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to tell other people that they have to forgive too. Because
surprise, motherfucker.
other people don't feel like you do. So like, I still remember the old days of Jeffree Star where people were like, oh, he apologized. People will say the same thing about Kathleen Lights. Oh, she apologized. And first of all, if you're not someone who's affected by it, I just need you to fully understand, you don't get to tell me what the fuck to do. Okay? You just don't. And you have to start like recontextualizing the way that you approach someone's apology, right? Like if a friend of yours slapped you about the hands and feet face, right? And then they apologize. And I'm like, hey, they apologized. Can I accept that apology on your behalf? Absolutely not. You're the one who got slapped about the hands and face. You're the only one who can really accept that apology at that point. So this whole thing is going to be very interesting because she can't, like, when this shit happens, it gets harder and harder to like move beyond it. And I think that that's what. So Danny, if you didn't know this, there's a whole camp of Latinos, Hispanics, Mexicanos, Cubanos, Puerto Ricans who think that it's okay for them to say nigga. It's not, but they think it is. And so they do. She had a nigga scandal.
Ooh, uh-oh.
It's a really strange way to go about your normal life. You know, like I am a human who has needs. Like I want to have regular friends, and I don't want to like walk up to somebody that I want to be friends with at like preschool and have to start every conversation with like, my personal life is a dumpster fire, as I'm sure you know, but also, do you want to be friends with me? You know, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have some really authentic friendships that have started that way. But like, I don't want to go about my life.
I just want him to stop laughing. I don't want him to laugh. Don't fucking laugh. I hate it. Thank you. Okay, continue. Sorry. It's like, do not laugh. Don't pass go. Be quiet. Listen to her explain. I know he's probably laughing because he's like uncomfortable or whatever. I don't give a fuck about his comfort.
Starting friendships like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of want the new friends to know the context of like who you currently are as a person.
Exactly.
I remember I have met some people, like made new friends or kind of introduced myself to strangers. It's like, oh, let's exchange Instagrams. I'm like, well,
right? Here's
mine, but couple of caveats. One, I have a lot more followers than you might expect. Two, all of this is pretty outdated. And three, don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
You
Just
probably don't want to Google me.
Get to know me first.
No thanks. She's correct. And like, don't Google me because that's fucking embarrassing. He, however, as Kat said, like, especially as she's talking about her personal life being a dumpster fire that he started. Correct. He definitely started the fire. And it's still burning. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You don't want to be just sort of seen as the sum of your mistakes for me or the sum of your past for you.
Right.
And the challenging thing is it's been complicated for a while. I mean, we are still friends. We have children together. We go on trips together.
Right.
Like, there's a spectrum of being together, not together.
Right.
Like there's ways in which we're together, but it's like the way that everyone wants to know, like, are you guys still like an item? Are you guys still a couple?
I'm going to say this about people laughing and discomfort. There are some ways that you can help yourself to not do that. Just as a side note, like there are ways that you can help yourself to not do that, because I think a lot of people do it, especially if they're saying something that's really uncomfortable. But like, realize that, especially people who are traumatized, realize that what you were saying matters. Conversations can be uncomfortable. And the discomfort laugh that you have is because what you're going to say might be hurting the other person a lot of times. And you have to sit in the fact that you're going to have to hurt somebody's feelings. You have to sit in the fact that your feelings are hurt. So sometimes just not being like after, which is actually, I find more painful, just say the thing and then just stop. That's all. That's all. Yeah. He keeps saying together as if this is what's bothering me about the way he's trying to frame it. Like, we still go on trips together because you have children. You are taking your kids. You're not going together in the sense of together. Y'all are taking your kids to, like, well, I don't want to say that place anymore because fuck them. You are taking your kids to Six Flags. Is that okay? Can we take kids? Dolly Land. Okay, Dolly World. You're taking your kids somewhere that isn't affiliated with fucking Disney. There we go. And so that's not like together. Okay, like, you're trying to make it seem like y'all are truly friends. I don't think she thinks y'all are friends, to be fucking for real. You're saying this shit and she's just like,
Like, no. We really haven't been at all this last 3 years.
No, we haven't.
Like, there's moments when we kind of tried, but just because you go to a Taylor Swift concert together doesn't mean that you're, you know, that
Doesn't mean
all
that
is
you're
forgiven.
if I went to a Taylor Swift concert with my partner, it would mean that we were breaking up. It for sure would. It would mean the end. This is, in fact, the most awkward couples therapy sesh, and I feel like we truly didn't need to see it, because I feel like he keeps looking at her like, right, we tried to do stuff, and she's like, yeah.
Right, and you're
No, like, people ask me, like, do you forgive Ned for what he did? And I mean, the answer is no, absolutely not. How can you forgive somebody for lying to you, for...
Yes, girl. That's what we came here for. No, absolutely not.
for cheating on you? No, fuck no. Like, I don't even, it's, sorry, I saw red for a minute. It's like, no, the answer is no. But
I feel her. But yeah, he has stopped laughing. And you can see on his face that he's like, I think a little surprised. He looks a little like, I didn't know you were gonna. Because again, it's not, I always look at it, and it's me, of course, but I do think that there's a difference between being a public figure and being like just an everyday person. Excuse me. And an everyday person, you can be like, yeah, I don't fucking forgive him. But like, also, every single person that you know generally is not aware that this has taken place, unless you're one of those people who has one of those Facebook statuses where it's like you as a couple, and it also is, you know, every anniversary you're like, through thick and thin, no matter how many times this person pissed me the fuck off, we're still together. I still love you. You're still my person. Like, that's what tells us that one of y'all cheated, right? But otherwise, most of the time you don't know. Like, somebody has to tell you. So they have the right to privacy in that way that they can privately decide what they're going to do about it. But when it's public, like, you don't get that. You don't get to have, like, she did not get to have those moments that us regular folk down here get to have, which is like making determinations, decisions, plus minus columns, talking to family, talking to friends, and like privately being able to figure this out. She didn't get that. And like, now the whole world is like, that's so embarrassing for you. And like, that's on top of it, like the fucking embarrassment. Like, sorry, I saw red. I love her. I do too. Cause I like, listen, there's some things where if you ask me about, like,
but also I feel like forgiveness isn't the goal at this point. You know, we've been together for a long time, and you are the father of my 2 beautiful children, and we know each other really well, and I you know,
Hermie, a word. And Legendary Rouge, welcome back. They do have children, so she will have to put up with him. And at some point, they will see this. This is the other thing. I'm kind of concerned about that as well. I'm always concerned about these kinds of things in very weird ways because our internet lives, our online social media lives are going to one day interact with our kids. And I don't know if any of us ever really consider that. And with Hermie saying, I'm convinced that people who are like, oh my God, marriage is so hard, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, hate their spouse. If it's that hard, you married the wrong person. Correct. Like 1,000%. And if it's just like super easy, smooth sailing, you probably also married the wrong person. Because what that tells me is that y'all just don't really ever talk about anything uncomfortable, and you just like through everything. And anytime anything uncomfortable does come up, those tend to result in large fights that take weeks to resolve instead of like a day in the same day or maybe the next day. Because yes, you should absolutely go to sleep angry if you can go to sleep, but you should absolutely do that. There's no point in staying up and being angry and fighting all night. That's dumb. It just escalates and your tempers flare. But like, yeah. I think I'd root for her podcast over his in a heartbeat. 1,000%. Love is difficult. Love overcomes. The most toxic couple on IG. Yes, because it's not. Love is the easy part. That's why I just never understand. I'm like, love is the easy part. It's everything else that's hard. Like if you didn't have to worry about like where your next meal was coming from, how you're going to keep a roof over your head, like those kinds of things, like I think a lot more relationships would be significantly improved. And we can definitely tell this because like we saw this during lockdown, the amount of people who were like, oh my God, I didn't know I hated you until I had to stay in the same house with you. And the divorces like kind of skyrocketed for a period of time. Yeah.
You know, we've worked through a lot of stuff. And
ooh, an ad break is
the
coming.
fact that I can be around you and still like have a good time and like enjoy spending time with you and enjoy spending time with my kids. Like, I think that's a win.
Yes.
Yeah. It's taken a lot of hard work to do that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, as we've adjusted, we've recalibrated our relationship more towards a platonic friendship, and then, you know, it's just been challenging. But like, I think we're getting to a point of sort of celebrating that and really like embracing it and accepting it for what it is.
Because you have no choice. Listen, I can tell you right now that if y'all did not have those kids, she would have set you on fire in a non-threatening way. One thing I did want to throw out to the single ladies who want to get married, this is specifically for the single ladies who want to get married, you need to ask yourself what it is you're looking for. Not saying she did anything wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But it is important to ask yourself if what you're looking for is a wedding or a lifetime partnership. That's all. That's all I want to say about that. Just make sure you ask yourself that question. Because I get it. We've been programmed to like want this big, beautiful wedding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then you have to ask yourself what's after that. Okay.
What it is, as we're like grieving the past, and you know, it's hard to hear you saying like, fuck no, I don't forgive you. But of course I get it. I mean, you're still, as much progress as we've had, you're still very angry.
Yeah, of course I'm angry.
That's a weird thing for him to say. As much progress as we've had, you're still very angry. Yes. Of course she's angry. The partnership that she built, that she thought she was building, the life that she thought she was building, like when you get into a long-term relationship, and this is all genders, everybody, when you get into a long-term relationship, you get an apartment or a house together, you get dogs, your finances start entangling, and you are going on this path together, building this life. And when one person just goes like, nope, like it upends everything. The life that you thought you were going to have is gone. And you don't just get over that in 3 years. Like you literally don't just get over it. Like it doesn't work like that. It would absolutely be lovely if you could, but you can't, right? There's so many things when somebody damages you or hurts you or any of that. Like what the fuck do you mean?
You know, we're talking about like not having sat in this position for 3 years, you know, and like, yeah, of course I'm still angry. We lost a lot. There was a lot that happened 3 years ago. It was, I mean, I found out about your affair from the fans.
Ooh.
I mean, and I was so blindsided that somebody sent me a picture and I couldn't, it was like my brain couldn't compute. And it's like for some reason I didn't see what was actually there in the picture. I thought it was your sister. And I remember sending it to you and being like, what's your sister doing in New York?
Oh my God. Oh my God. This makes it so much worse. I can't. Oh my God. I'm like, ooh. 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 Men will act like women are so emotional and hold on to things for so long while they are not processing anything and still angry. Like, come the fuck on. Yeah. I did not know that is how she found out either. I did not know that. I cannot.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
Thank you.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Period. Because the way, bitch, you're just like minding your business. And I know what she's saying. You know, like when evidence is presented to you like in front of your face and you're just like, I can't see this. I don't know what you're talking about. Like the way that she was like, what is your sister doing there? Oh God. The second time? Oh my God. Yeah, I don't think she's ever talked about it because at first, you know, you saw them just like walking together and her trying to pretend like this was just fine.
And I think back on that and I think like, what was how did I not see what was going on? Like what was so fucked up in my brain that I couldn't actually see what was happening in this picture? Like the picture was right there in front of me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the pieces just started falling and falling and falling And then more pictures started coming in, and more pictures and more pictures and more pictures. And it is so wild how we live in this world where everything is so public.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't realize it, but everybody's taking pictures of you everywhere you go. And it's kind of scary, actually. And it makes you realize that whenever you leave your house, you're like, you're not safe, you know? And it kind of like, and then after everything happened,
Wait, I'm gonna pause here because like her talking about people taking pictures of you everywhere you go, 1,000%, and that's why it doesn't. This is why the narrative came out. Like, he obviously wanted to get caught, because there's no way you're fucking around as Ned Fulmer of the Try Guys as publicly as he was fucking around. Because I know cheaters. Unfortunately, we all do. And when they don't want to get caught, maybe they don't get caught. Like serial cheaters, like hardcore serial cheaters, maybe they don't get caught. They work very hard, like, to not get caught. Hardcore serial cheaters who want to keep their family because they actually do, in fact, love their wives, but they just love the thrill of fucking somebody else on the side, and they don't want to have an open relationship because that means she also gets to fuck somebody else, and they don't like that. They keep everything. Like, that shit, you have to work hard to find these motherfuckers, okay? They're doing it in places you wouldn't even think of. They are being very, very secretive about keeping that shit together. There are no receipts. There are no cash withdrawals. There's probably a second account that nobody knows about at a bank that is not connected to the bank they got. Like, they are very intent on making sure that they keep their families.
All right, then, keep your secrets.
Some of y'all just dumb out here. Like, some of y'all just dumb. I'm not condoning cheating. I'm just saying some of y'all are just dumb.
I sort of went into this, like, this weird state where, like, nothing was safe. And nothing and nobody, like, I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't trust the public. I couldn't trust you. I couldn't trust my friends.
Munch Querida, that also she needs to remember that she didn't find out. She was told. I could never get back with a massive liar like him. Yes, because here's the thing. If you've ever been cheated on, I have. There is a part of you deep down that like knows something's off in the relationship. You just can't really pinpoint it. And when she starts talking about like all the pieces just start like falling together and everything just starts, it all suddenly starts making sense. Not even necessarily just lack of intimacy, because just generally, this is a generalization, women tend to stop being intimate with their partner when they are cheating. Men do not do that. That's a generalization. Don't come over here being like, well, statistically, just suck my left labia. I'm not trying to hear it. But the thing is, not the right one, because that's the one I like the best. But the thing is, yes, I have a favorite labia. But the thing is, once all of this comes to light, once someone tells you, especially if someone tells you, you're not ready. Like, that's the thing, as I kind of feel like as she's talking, and obviously I'm putting this in there and injecting it, I'm not sure if it's true, but I feel like she probably had this sensation that things were going weird and she wasn't ready to confront it yet, but now someone's told her, so she didn't even get an opportunity to like find out on her own, have all the pieces come together, confront him, and like end the relationship in her own time. Instead, she's just minding her business and someone sends her this photo on like IG or some shit. No. No. Like the way, yikes. I think, the podcast is 1.9 stars on Spotify. Good. He has since changed the handle. She also filmed with the entire crew. So for the crew to see their boss flirt with a coworker, and then all of them have to see her on set, it is wild. Yeah, and like the thing is, there's people who are like, "Why didn't somebody say something to her?" I'm like, "What would you say? First of all, to your boss, like your crew, like think that through. Do you know what I mean? Like in my case, I don't like most of my bosses, so." I would be like, whatever. This is your comeuppance for being a dick to me. But like, and before I leave, I'd be like, by the way, your wife's fucking somebody else. Doses. But I just can't. This has got to be so, like, her talking about this is like making my heart hurt, because I'm just like, oh my God, for you to be told, like you were just told, like you were minding your business. You're like, oh, what's this? I'm sorry. And that was your brain protecting you. That's why you couldn't see what was going on in the picture. Your brain is a very funny thing, and it tries its best at all times to protect you from any and all trauma, including emotional trauma and mental trauma. It tries.
I just stayed inside, like, because there were cameras everywhere. You know, it was like, it was so unsafe. Everything was unsafe. Yeah, it took a long time to like get back to myself.
How did having it become such a public scandal kind of change everything for you? Did it make it worse? Did it make it easier? Did it just sort of make it surreal?
It was so many different things. And it was all tied in together too. You know, I think that, and it all, it's like the trauma of discovering that you've been, that like everything that you know isn't real. Mm-hmm. And then add to it this other part where you're sort of being watched by cameras, which isn't something that's like a part of our lives. Like, yes, we are somewhat public figures, but like we've never had cameras waiting outside of our house. Mm-hmm. Like that's not something that we're used to. Like we're not like celebrities. That's not, that's not a part of our lives. And this was a period in our lives where we had like, there was like a car following us. And it was really strange because we had just, you know, found out that we were dealing with this, you know, with this cheating situation, with this betrayal. We decided to find a new couples therapist, right?
Right.
And so we were driving to our new couples therapist, and so we were in the car together because we decided to drive together, and you decided you needed a snack, and so you had a Tupperware with you, and I had my jug of water, and we got in the car together because we were like, well, why don't we drive together? We're going to the same place. And so we get in the car, and we were driving there, and so you're like eating your apple as you're driving, and I turned to you and I was like, Ned, I think there's a car following us. Like, I'm pretty sure this car has followed us from our house. And you were like, oh, that's weird. Like, I wonder what that could be, you know? And then when we park outside of the couples therapist's office, and we see that this car has a camera, I was like, I think that person just took a picture of us. And so we went inside and we talked about it a little bit, and then we had our therapy session, and then we came out, and then there were multiple people outside, and it was the probably one of the strangest situations that I personally have ever been in. I did not know what to do with my face. And so
I really hope he addresses how much he has invaded her privacy by doing this. I really hope he addresses that. By having your very public affair, by doing all of this shit, like, you can clearly see why she was just like, yeah, anyways, I'm gonna take a little hike into privacy for the next 3 years, because how awkward is it? You're literally going to couples therapy, you're coming out of couples therapy, and there's just cameras everywhere. Ned, Ariel, blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, I can't even, like, of course you can't work through your relationship now. I'm not saying that they should. Again, I'm just saying, of course you can't, because you can't even be anywhere without paparazzi reminding you of the thing that this person did. And like, the whole reason that the paparazzi is there is because of what they did. So you literally cannot like get away from this situation. Oh my God. Like she just couldn't even take a break. Like she just couldn't even take a breath from like what was happening. She's just like stuck dealing with this. I would scream. I would scream. Early at the start of the podcast, there was a way that she was talking that made me feel like she never really wanted the camera attention. I'm speculating, but I feel like Ned being the wife guy may have forced her into public appearances. I do feel like that. I feel like there's like parts where I don't even think she minded being a part of all this stuff. Because again, being on YouTube, unless you're like fucking Mr. Beast, right? Or Hassan, or, you know, I hate him and disgusting, you know, definitely a kickophile. You know, James Charles, right? You don't expect to have this happening because like it wasn't happening before. From the way that she's talking about it, like she just went about her life every day. It's the same thing I do. Like I'm on Twitch and I'm on YouTube, but I'm not like big enough to where anybody would give a shit. And I think just generally, even if you do get larger, unless like you're in like a metropolitan city, which I'm not, I don't think people would recognize me, right? Like I can go into an Ulta, which I wouldn't now because fuck them. But anyways, I can go into an Ulta and no one is in there being like, oh my God, you used to be Audra at home, you used to makeup, like blah, blah, blah. Like that doesn't happen to me. I couldn't imagine anybody noticing. And I don't know what I would do if the people like recognized me in public. Cause I'm very awkward. So I just don't know what the fuck I would do. Yeah, he would meet the other person in public like he was getting away with it. Yeah. The way she talked about how the last 3 years of privacy were so nice. Exactly. Because like she was private. Like even being on the channel, she was still private. And so they made content about home decorating and cooking. I think he may have tried to convince her to become a brand and maybe she enjoyed it, but it was thrust upon her. Yeah. And like when you're in a relationship, I think you try to do more things that your partner wants. That is like that's where I think compromise happens, where you're like, oh, you like to do this thing. Like I learned to ride a motorcycle because my ex-husband said that apparently having me on the back of his motorcycle was too difficult. And so I learned to ride and I got quite good at it. And I had my own motorcycle. And then he got mad about me having my own motorcycle and was upset that I wasn't being like all the other girlies on the back of their men's bikes. I'm like, well, bitch, you shouldn't have said it was hard having me on the back. Now I don't want to. I have my own bike. And also, secretly, deep down, I do hate you. So they had more fame, visibility than you may have imagined.
Oh, and so my reaction when I don't know what to do with my face is I smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my go-to reaction when I don't know what to do with my face. I just smile like an idiot.
That was my reaction too.
I smile like like I, you know, like a cat. You know, I just smile. And
This was
so
like, this is the video that everyone
this is the
saw,
video
right?
that
Yeah.
everyone saw. And
Like leaving couples therapy.
we're leaving
It's
couples
like,
therapy, looking at each other like we don't have a care in the world. And it is because we are absolutely just beyond like this is so bizarre. What is happening right now? This has never happened in our lives ever. We don't know what's going on. Like, let's just get to our car, you know, and we're just like, just smile, like, that, like they're not gonna hurt us. Who are these people? Everything's fine.
Okay, listen, she's correct in this. And here's what I'm gonna say. If you've ever seen Win a Date with Tad Hamilton, one of my all-time favorite rom-coms, is it ridiculous? Yes. But it has all the tropes that I do enjoy. Movie star meets like regular bitch, Topher Grace. So, but there is a part in there where she's on the red carpet with Tad Hamilton, and he's showing her how to do that like paparazzi press smile situation. And she was like, this hurts actually to smile this long. And he was like, yeah, it takes some getting used to. That. Like when you, like I could not imagine stepping out of my house tomorrow and just like a bunch of cameras are there like, Audra, and I'd be like, I think I probably wouldn't smile because I don't really know what to do. I would just be giving like grouchy face. But yeah, it would be a little awkward, and it is awkward. And I think a lot of people, when faced with that, would smile. So it is interesting to hear the backstory of those videos, because like it looked like they were just gonna get back together. And I think people at that point were like, "Oh, girl, that's a bad look for you. You should not get back together with this cheater." And we do need to, and myself included, as a society, need to be more careful about like getting into people's relationship business and judging people based on it, because we don't even know her. You know what I mean? Let her relationship in the way that she feels safe to relationship. I would bet bet money they pressured her to settle for a pittance with a ridiculous NDA, because it's not a good time to be an immigrant in court. I hope I'm wrong though. Listen, and we're in Texas.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was the strangest situation. It was so bizarre.
I remember our neighbors during that time were doing some roof repair work. And so there was this like,
There's like a construction
unmarked
van.
white van outside of our house, and it was parked there for like weeks. And we had it in our heads that it was a paparazzi van. And
It absolutely was not. But it was like the strangest thing, I thought.
just, for weeks, anytime you walk out the door being like, oh, there's a van.
Yeah. That was really strange.
I can see how that caused you to really feel unsafe and mistrusting of the whole world. Just want to acknowledge that and just note that it's like because of things I did that caused you to experience that.
Yeah.
What was that moment like when everything changed for you?
Awful, obviously. It was kind of surreal. I thought to myself, like, what would somebody who's been cheated on, like, what would somebody in a movie do?
Really?
That is the wrong question, because what somebody in a movie would do is pretend that they had been murdered and blame it on their ex-husband. What somebody in a movie would do is trap that man and bring him to some cabin in the woods and torture him. What somebody in a movie would do is put that man in a cage in the house, in the basement, and enjoy their lives. Don't ask that question. Never go, what would somebody in a movie do if a man cheated on me? Because it's not good. Okay. What somebody in a movie would do is burn the house down. So don't do that. Okay. Never listen. If you were cheated on, never ask yourself, what would somebody in a movie do? Because all of those options will get you put in jail. Okay, please. Thank you. They will set a car on fire. Yeah, he keeps doing this thing where he's like, yeah, like that I push you through. So what was that like? Like, or go find herself and forgive that bitch because it's a lesson. Listen, if she goes find and finds herself, it's usually with a man who's 20 years younger with rock hard abs. And apparently he's in a band. It all goes back to 1D fanfic. Okay.
And I wasn't thinking like of a specific movie or something like that. I was thinking like, what would, like, what do people do in this situation? You know, like, I wasn't thinking of I wasn't thinking for myself. I was thinking like what, and I remember we were in New York, and you just picked me up from the airport. And I was so like naively, so you were driving a rental, and I just naively looked over to you in the driver's seat, and I was like, why was Grace in New York? Like, I didn't realize Grace was in New York. Why was she, referring to that picture that I had sent to you? And you looked over at me with this look on your face, and it was like the veil just fell, like this, like I knew in my brain that something was going on, but I just sort of refused to believe it. And then when I saw that, like, just wildly guilty look on your face, like you wanted to tell me something, and I didn't even let you say anything. I was like, turn this car around. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember it happening like that, but it doesn't matter.
How do you remember it happening?
Oh, I mean, you asked me a couple of different follow-up questions as I just sort of answered them. And then, once I answered it in such a way that you knew exactly who it was and what had happened, then you were like, take me back to the airport.
Sir, I do believe you misunderstood that she was giving your stupid ass some grace. She didn't get into the details on purpose. This is what, again, men deserve nothing. Heterosexuality is a curse. The way, oh my God. Like, she's literally giving you like a little life raft to be like, I could see that you didn't want to answer the questions. Turn the car. That's not how I remember it exactly. Okay, well, how do you remember it? Actually, worse. Worse, I remember it. Worse, actually. Like, please, sir.
You need to leave.
Please, give us a break, okay? We're... Oh, gosh. Yeah, don't marry a woman. If you're a woman or a non-binary, marry a woman, and then have affairs with men consensually and ethically. You know what I mean? Just don't just please. Oh God. No, actually I tried to lie and get out of it first. Like, brother, she tried to give you like a little bit, and then he was just like, anyways, I'm just gonna hang myself. Okay.
Yeah.
That part was very cinematic. If you were trying to be like in a movie.
Turn this fucking car around.
I hate him.
I mean, yeah, I think there was a lot of sort of delusions and rationalizations that you, as the person doing that, sort of are telling yourself as to why it's not so bad, or why it's gonna be okay, or why actually this talked about it in this way. And then it's like, I remember that moment, it all just kind of like fell down, where I totally could see how devastated and just completely traumatized you were. And then it was just like, oh, everything changed for me as well.
Can someone explain to me why he's talking in deep, sad man voice? Listen, first of all, divorces are only expensive if you're rich and you have children and assets. When you're broke, it's $500. Correct. Thank you. You're welcome. I finally figured out what part of it, if it's pissing me off so much. He's using the same tone my ex did when he was angling to get back together after getting crazy jealous because he cheated. Thank you, everybody. Like, he's very much talking in a very specific, like, this is the tone that men use when they're trying to, like, get in your good graces. Like, devastated you are. I just, and here's the thing I really, if I could ask him, if I could interview Ned, I would be like, what did you think the outcome was gonna be? In all seriousness. When you were fucking around very publicly, with zero care to whether or not anybody would catch a photo of you. Because the thing is, while you may not be like a celebrity and like famous, correct? There are people who know who you are, right? Right. So when you're out dilly-dallying around with this other woman, whom I'm not going to blame, because it is your job in your marriage to be faithful. Morally, that doesn't make her great, but she did not destroy the wedding. Morally, that doesn't make her great because she just doesn't seem to care about people in relationships and their sanctity of the relationship. So there's that. But while you're doing, what did you think the outcome was going to be? When did it ever occur to you to think, hey, Ariel might find out? Like, at all? Did it ever occur to you, like, in any way where you're like, hey, Ariel could find out about this? Did that ever, and did you ever like play out that situation? I mean, that may be super autistic of me because I'm very much a like play it out to the end situation. So trust, if I was a person who cheated on you, I played it out to the end and knew the end result that I wanted. Trust. So like, please understand. I just want to know what your thoughts were. I did not have a sexual relationship with that woman. Yeah. I'm just confused with the direction of the podcast next week. Does he have his mom? And she says how disappointed. Yeah, I don't know what the plan is because like I do feel like it has 344K views at the time that I'm watching this, and there's only 3.6 upvotes. No, I will not use the dislike counter because it's a cross section of people who are most likely to dislike a video anyway. Its percentage is based off of data that doesn't actually exist for them to pull from, but I'm betting it's a lot of dislikes. Because for that 344K people to watch it and only 3.6K of them were like, this is a good video. That's not it.
Oh, I'm like, oh no, this is
Why
like
are we whispering?
I've been hurting this person that I love this whole time.
Oh, now you realize
You
it.
didn't realize until then.
Well, you know, but then there's other things you tell yourself to kind of sort of compartmentalize or I guess.
Excuse it.
Interesting.
It's sort of a, it's like a.
Can we just talk about the way she said, interesting? She may as well punch him in the gut because damn. She said, interesting. And like him saying that is what like I've heard every man who cheats say. They find ways to justify it and be like, well, she wasn't in the mood and like she probably doesn't even know, and I'm gonna end this before she finds out, so I'm just gonna have like a little bit more fun. Okay, babe.
Like a addictive cycle, kind of feeling really guilty and ashamed, and then telling yourself the ways in which it's, you know, kind of just lying to yourself, and then yeah. And I did want to tell you, and there was probably a small part of me that was sort
Big.
of relieved to not be keeping a secret, I guess.
As an unlicensed therapist, psychiatrist, and psychologist, I need you to know, and unaccredited, undoctorialized, I would like you to know that there was a very large part of you, an extraordinarily large part of you, that wanted her to know. Likely because you wanted out of this relationship in ways that you weren't really ready to confront at the time. But you did want her to know, because I promise if you didn't, you would not have been fucking around the way that you were so openly. Subconsciously, you were really trying to like put out there, I'm unhappy in our relationship, instead of having a conversation and be like, hey, I'm unhappy in our relationship. You know what I mean? It's just wild behavior, and it's weird weird that you think that like there was a small part of me. No, it's actually a large part of you. Any licensed therapist and accredited psychologist and psychiatrist would tell you that like you actually did want her to know. Because again, if you didn't, you very easily could have just been like keeping everything as DL as possible. Like the way that people would have found out was because you were at some very strange, weird underground club in Germany raving, where you would think that nobody would know you there. And there's like blurry pictures of you two like dropping tabs of ecstasy and dancing. Do you see how that's different than what you were doing? Publicly flirting with her at work, taking her on trips and shit. Like that's purposeful. Okay.
Is that hard for you to hear?
No, that part's not hard for me to hear. I think it's, you know, I've done a lot. I've spoken a lot with other betrayed partners over the last 3 years, and it's something that I've heard a lot. This idea of like when there's this sense of relief when the partner who's doing the betraying is able to finally tell the betrayed partner that about all the things that they have been doing, and kind of put their shame onto the other partner. They, in that like sort of release of their like of all of that like
shame and guilt
and guilt that they've been holding. It's almost like they feel so much relief, but the partner then has to accept it. And that's exactly what happened. You know, when you told me, suddenly then I had to take all of that guilt and shame of your affair. And it was so much to carry. So much.
This is why I've been saying 4 years, and some people would argue with me, but I was like, if you cheated on your partner one time and you just need to, like, you made a mistake and you realize I should never have done such a thing, keep your fucking mouth shut. Don't say anything. Don't put your guilt onto the other person. Don't cheat in the first place, but don't do that. Obviously, don't cheat in the first place, obviously, but don't do that. Like, the way that like cheaters do this, where they're like, anyways, I feel terrible, I feel super guilty, and now I'm gonna tell you. No, you eat that shit. You swallow it. And if you can't eat it and you can't swallow it and you can't burn in your bitterness and move on, then like you need to leave the other partner and let them go. And you never need to tell them that you did that. You just need to be like, you know what? I think it's time for me to go. Because they don't deserve to have that happen to them. Like, no, they do not deserve to have to take on not only your shame and guilt, but then they have to take on the added stress of trying to figure out what they could have done to make you cheat, what they could have done to make you not cheat. And now they're like spinning these wheels about themselves and relationships, and they like can't. It's hard to move on. Like, yeah, exactly, Amy. They get it off their chest and are ready to move on. Such audacity. Yes. Like, y'all literally will come out and just be like, listen, I've got to tell you something. No, you don't. Shut the fuck up. Please be quiet. If you think for 1 second you're going to tell me about the affair you had, first of all, you should know I probably already know. And I've already chosen to overlook it. And keep going with our relationship. That's the thing you should know. I've already made a choice. But once you open your mouth and make it real, now I'm changing my whole mind. Listen, fuck you. Fuck you. But I'm coming to you as a woman. Oh, girl, please no. Yeah, don't do that. No, to be like, your boyfriend's cheating on, because girl, listen, that's not girl behavior. I do have to pee so fucking bad. I'm going to pee and then like come right back. But you're only doing this because you think that by telling the partner that person's with, you think that that's going to drive them to you. And even if it does, is that someone you want? Is that someone you want? No. But then some people can side piece their way into being queen. So we do have that. There we go.
And you know, suddenly something that like you had that, and it, like the wild thing is that this was something that you had done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I had no part in this. This was not like, you could even say that you had done this to me.
Yes.
You know, like I was the victim of this situation.
Correct,
and
ma'am.
yet,
Correct. You were the victim. And yet. And I'm glad she said that, because it's like, yeah, when this happens, especially publicly, you end up being the victim of the whole thing. The reason I keep saying justice for Meg Ryan, for anybody who's ever wondered, is that her ex-husband, who is confirmed MAGA and a piece of garbage, cheated on her constantly, and didn't get caught doing it. And the one time she was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my lick back, her whole career went into the toilet because of it. Meanwhile, he still gets to act. That's why. Because it was a constant. Dennis Quaid, nightmare of a person. And he very consistently cheated on her and fucked around. Fucked about town. She has one little dalliance with Russell Crowe, and it becomes like, oh my God, America's sweetheart sucks. And she just like couldn't get out from underneath that shit. So, justice for Meg Ryan.
when you told me, I had to like accept your guilt and your shame. And in our like society where where couples are, especially married couples, like when men have affairs, women are often looked at as like, well, what did you do wrong? And it is so hard to get out from under that. Of like, well, what did you...
I would just like to say I've never seen this before. I would just like to say I've never seen this before. Okay, I'm not. I've never seen this before. I have never seen this before, and I knew because I'm a non-binary femme, and women cannot escape any part of the cheating factory. The whole thing is always very misogynistic, and it always depends on, no matter what, she is in the wrong. If he cheated on her, she's wrong. If she cheated on him, she's wrong. And we get no nuance. When men cheat, we get to hear the like staircase of excuses as to why they did the thing. Okay? We get to hear well, she just had a baby and I was feeling a little left out and I, and me, and I. And we just have to keep walking up this fucking staircase of all the bullshit that they can say as to why they did the thing that they did. Every time. Meanwhile, she's left over here as if she's the one who fucked up. She wasn't giving him whatever it was that he needed. And the thing is, even if that were true, he could have left. He could have had a conversation and been like, I'm not getting what I need out of this relationship. And therefore, I think that we should break up. I think that we either need to break up or we need to see a couples therapist and work through this. But currently, I'm not getting what I need in this relationship. It is not what it once was for me. But instead, he cheats very publicly. She's the victim of this. And now she has to keep being Ariel Fulmer, the woman who was publicly cheated on. And he's the one who did it. And she's the one who has to deal with the weight of what took place. She deserves legal damages. Yeah.
You do to make him look elsewhere. Were you not a good enough wife? Were you not, did you not make him happy enough? And there's so much shame there. And I'm so tired of holding that.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of holding it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to.
How does it make you feel to hear that? I mean, did
Before he answers, Issa, you said, I feel like when men in hetero relationship cheat, it's, but men are like that, so we should give him grace. Whereas when someone in a queer relationship cheats, it's, see, they're all depraved. This should be illegal. Not only that, but it does come down to like, queer relationships are like this. And I just need people to understand, first of all, there is ethical non-monogamy, which many people do not participate in. Saying you have an open relationship is not necessarily ethical non-monogamy. I can get into that deeper in some other conversation, but like, people tend to think that any kind of deviance from staying in a monogamous relationship in which there are no other partners is already like, you're depraved, you're disgusting, blah, blah, blah. We can clearly see it a lot of times with Will and Jada. And we also very much see it in the way that Jada is treated and how Will is treated, because both of them are treated terribly in this. And it's really, honestly, none of our business, but here we are. But like, the reality is we keep saying boys will be boys. This is what men do. All men are going to cheat. And if that's what you're going to say in like a hetero relationship, I'm confused as to why you're getting into them. But apparently, according to numbers, you aren't. So you know what? Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations. Lessons have in fact been learned. You're not having babies. You're not getting into relationships. These men are out here crying, screaming, throwing up, and sliding down the wall. Is it making some of them go right wing? Sure, but you know, I don't know what we're supposed to do about all of that. We can't just be out here continuously pity fucking them. Like, we just can't. We have done enough pity fucking. It's time for men to get into therapy. All men don't cheat. All men don't cheat. That's the thing. I've known plenty of men who don't cheat. It's wild. I've known plenty of men who do not cheat, who are like, yeah, no, that's not, if I'm going to have to cheat, then I may as well break up with them. I'm sorry? Yeah. Why'd you break up last time? Oh, well, you know, it just wasn't going the way that I thought it should go. And rather than cheat, I thought it would be best to break up. Like, I started really finding other people, like, not just visually attractive, but like visualizing if I could be with them. And I realized that that behavior means that I'm probably not as invested in my relationship as I thought I was. What? Yeah, there are men who go to therapy. There are men who can be mature adults. They exist. Albeit it's harder to find them, but they do exist. I need a rep from the straight delegation to speak to this scandal. Same. Are there any straights in the house who care to comment on this? Right. Empathy can't be taught either. So, like, what do you expect the femmes to do? Exactly. Hi, Aced. You know, one of my favorite play videos is the Aziz Ansari one because of the blurred lines of the pity fucking of it all. Listen, but also Aziz Ansari is a whole ass mess and another. Ugh. But yeah, the way that she is the one, and any woman who has been cheated on can tell you this, and I'm sure men can too, but I'm not a man, so I can't tell you, despite what transphobes like to say. But if you think I'm a doll, then I'm a doll. Eat shit, babes. She's the one who has to deal with all of this shame and guilt. Like, at the end of the day, he's the one who gets to just walk away and be like, well, I said I was sorry, so the end. And forgetting that, like, a lot of his audience aren't dudes. They are also ladies who thought, like, you know, he was a safe man to be around. Thought he was a safe man. And we're like, oh, I wish I had a guy like Ned. He's ugly, but he's kind. Turns out you can't fuck with the ugly ones either. So the woes of dating. This is why when men are like, some of y'all are going to need to lower your standards. Guess what? A lot of them already did. Same shit, uglier man. I don't know what you want them to say.
Did it ever occur to you that not only did you having an affair just it shattered our marriage, but it also, like, all of that guilt and shame, you like hoisted that on me. Like, you gave that to me. And now I have to carry that around for the rest of my life.
Ooh.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position. It's certainly not true.
Bitch, is that your answer?
And no, it's not something that I imagined as I was doing that. And I think none of it was. If you really, like, let it sink in just how much you're hurting your partner and how devastating it is, like,
You need to leave.
how could you do that? It's still very...
Did he just, we live in a society, her? Did he, let me know if I'm the one who's out of line here, but did he not just be like, we live in a society? I like that she asked him. I wish that he had more brevity with answering that, because the entirety of this is like, no, he had zero thought to any of the impact that this could have on you, because he didn't think he would get caught the way he got caught. And I really think that he thought if he did get caught, that people would not eat him the fuck up the way that they did. He was incorrect. He did not math properly and miscalculated the percentage of people who would like him. He forgot that his audience was women and femmes who liked him because he was a wife guy. They're like, he's the best of them. He loves his wife so much. I wish somebody would be like that with me. No, it didn't occur to me. I'm a fucking little piece of shit. Like,
Difficult now, even 3 years later, to see you in pain as you're talking about that. And I guess there's nothing I can do to change the past or to help.
what?
It's kind of weird to think about it now, because I
scrawny
feel like I'm in
koala.
a really good place.
You're not
now.
wrong, though. He does look like a scrawny
And-
koala.
And going back to like before I discovered the affair, it feels like going back to this weird fantasy world where like, I don't know, I thought we had this
Not him being a math guy and he can't math.
this love that like transcended, I don't know. But it was a fantasy. It was like, you know, I trusted you so completely. And I mean, we grew up together. We got married when we were like in our early 20s.
Yeah.
We were babies. We had nothing. I mean, and we moved out to LA with just our car full of stuff. I mean, I'm like tearing up just thinking about it.
I am too, girl, because she's sitting here, like, you can see in her eyes, like, the way that she's, like, looking, not at him, but, like, into the past. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you, like, you know, when you, some of you don't have trauma, but when you're traumatized, you have trauma in your life, and you tell a story, like, Em can attest to this. When I tell them things that my ex-husband used to do when I had to, because, like, every time I uncover some other random locked up memory, and I'm like, oh my God, he hated me so much. But, like, I don't look at him. I already don't make eye contact, but I just, like, stare out into the void as I tell the story about, like, yeah, and then this one time, and it's just like, you can't, because you're trying to, like, reconcile, even as you're speaking about it, like, where you are now and, like, what was happening then and how come it all just, like, went where it went. So it's just, why are you calling me out? Yeah, like, I just, you know, it's very difficult to, like, have these, like, that's why therapy is so difficult for a lot of people, and why a lot of people will go and then, like, get out fairly quickly, because confronting this kind of shit is actually quite painful. And as human beings, especially as, you know, Americans in the United States of America, we are encouraged to stuff down any negative feelings, because we live in a cult of positivity that is always trying to tell us, like, tomorrow will be a better day. And you know what? It fucking might not be. So for all my depressed babes out there, like, tomorrow might not be better. That's okay, though. You're still here, which I know you're not happy about, but other people are. That's what I will say. I'm going to be real fucking frank with you. I know you're not happy about being here, but other people are. Just, like, give a little brevity and grace to the people who love you and are glad that you're here. That's all I'll say there. But it's yeah, Summer Fall is depressing how far people go to maintain a marriage, because divorce is perceived as, and forced to be sometimes, the most reprehensible thing ever. They'll cheat, hate each other, live in fantasies, withstand abuse, their children getting hurt. Yes. Because, like, if you were to ask me why I stayed so long, one was because I had gotten very used to being the caretaker of an active alcohol addict. Two is I was very nervous and scared about trying to start a life on my own with undiagnosed autism. And I didn't realize that at the time, but as, you know, an adult, you know, I think when I got diagnosed with ADHD was where I really started to wake up to things and could see things, because like I have not, as an adult, spent more than probably between 3 to 5 years living by myself. I'm 45. And you get older, like, and you get your diagnoses and you start recognizing, like, I have done that purposely. Living by myself is actually quite difficult for me. I stopped taking care of myself. I don't eat when I need to eat. I don't, you know, do all the things that people need to do. So if you were to ask me, I would have to just be like, I didn't know how to take care of myself. Like, and then I started to learn how and started to live my own life. And by then I didn't know how to leave because he'd sobered up. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, well, I still don't like you though. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, you're sober. That's cool. I still don't like you. You've done a lot of harmful things and you don't want to account for any of them. And I don't want to stay here. So yeah, it's, when you look at the ways in which people maintain relationships and keep staying in them, like the psychology behind it is wild. Like, there's so much you pour into being with another person in a relationship that you don't even think about, like, consciously. Like, there's things you don't really ever consider, like sleeping in your bed by yourself and losing your pets and like all these things that when people are like, why don't you get divorced? You're like, I don't want to lose my dogs. You know what I mean? Whoops. Turns out you didn't need to do all that sobriety after all. I just don't like you. Sorry for the mix up, bud. Listen, there is a phrase called dry drunks. Because a lot, like not a lot, but there are some people who are alcoholics, and then when they sober up, they're still just as shitty. They were convinced that it was the alcohol that made them shitty, but it turns out like they've always been a shitty person. So they behave the same. So it just doesn't feel like anything's changed. You're like, oh, you were always a selfish asshole. It's just like now you're doing it without alcohol, which kind of makes it worse. So I think, yeah, the sunk cost fallacy of it all, and also just the way that you've built so much. Like it's hard to just throw away, and that's what it feels like at the time, instead of moving on from. And I think that that's something that we like all kind of need to, we all need to start doing, is stop feeling as if you're throwing something away and start moving towards, I'm moving on from. Because I do think that when you change that mindset, it does help you. You can get out of that sunk cost fallacy mindset when you're just like, I'm moving on from this thing, right? Instead of saying like, I'm throwing all of this away, you're just like, yeah, like he threw it away, but she's moving on from.
We were just kids. And it's like, it really was a fantasy. And I just think, how could you do that to me? Like, who are you?
Him staring at her like a lizard is just taking me out. Like, I know that the Pepe frog is like taken over by the alt-right, but like, does he not look like that frog? Am I incorrect? Just let me know.
I'm so sorry.
Like, we had so much. There was so much. We had so much life left. We still have so much life left. I don't know why I'm crying.
You're crying for the life that you would have had.
Like the loss of that dream that we both had. It felt like that in that time period for me too.
What happened?
Well,
Yes.
The dream started to break apart for me, and then rather than being able to talk about it or to confront those feelings, I wanted to, I guess I was too afraid to say how I was actually feeling. And
You need to leave.
I appreciate that he is taking a moment to be honest about his feelings and say that he was too afraid to say anything, but you weren't too afraid to stick your dick in someone else. I just don't understand how that's compensation. I don't understand how that fixes. I don't understand. I don't. Period. I genuinely don't understand it. He's like, well, the dream started to break apart for me and it's like, oh, that's why that is when you actually start trying to figure out how to fix it. Like me, I didn't really want to fix my marriage. I wanted it just to die a slow death. I had actually been making moves to get out of it once I got a better job and I could just like leave. I'm pretty sure he still lives in the house that I picked out. So I didn't give a shit about that. I was just trying to get out. He does need so much water. Wow. Okay. I'm just trying to process him being like, the dream broke apart for me. And so rather than have any kind of conversation with you, like, hey, are you bored with our relationship? Do you feel like maybe we're not doing exciting things? Do you feel like maybe we became too parenty? Maybe YouTube's taking up too much of our time? He was like, let me go fuck the girl I work with. That's a better plan.
it seemed was to deal with it and deal with like feelings that I was experiencing in a way that was really self-destructive. And
you couldn't just go get a Corvette like everyone else?
And it wasn't like anything you did or like we had a bad marriage. It was about me and choices that I made and just actions that I took that I'll always regret. I'll always regret how much pain I caused you and other people.
Side note, she doesn't give a fuck about the other people. She cares about her. That's what you're here to talk about. You're here to talk about how you fucking hurt her. This is again why, like, things like the ultimatum and just in general in hetero relationships and in relationships in general, why you don't give people ultimatums. I'm not saying she did. There are way too many people out there who, do you ever know how you want a thing really fucking bad and then you get the thing and you're just kind of like, eh, you know what I mean? Like there's makeup palettes where I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to get it. And I get it. And I'm like, it's not, it wasn't that I don't like the palette, right? It was just like the anticipation of having it. And then I have it and I still enjoy it. I don't dislike it or anything like that. It was just like the anticipation was the thing that was really driving me. I just feel like people do this way too often with relationships. I appreciate that he's at least saying that part out loud. Like, things did not feel for me the way that I wanted things to feel. So of course, rather than him having the conversation, which it's in the past, it's already happened, but I would urge y'all to like examine those feelings, because I think if I had examined any of my feelings, first of all, I never would have gotten married. Because marriage was never something I wanted. Marriage was never something I dreamed about. My Barbies got married and they had lavish weddings, but there was always like a moment at the wedding. You know what I mean? Very dramatic. But for me, I didn't dream of my wedding. It was never something I wanted. I remember standing there just being like, I could just leave. As I was, in my wedding dress, like I'm dressed to the nines. I did my own makeup. I looked fly. And I just didn't really want to get married. And like, 12 years later, I was just like, I don't know why I'm still here. I need to leave. So like, it's like I can understand what it is he's trying to explain, but I do hate that he dragged her the fuck along, because like y'all were kids and she was like, I would assume also your best friend, one of your best friends, and like you just couldn't tell her that you didn't feel that way. And I just feel like, again, like I think men get the things and sometimes they capitulate to the things. And they're like, fine, because a lot of ultimatums are telling them. I'm not saying she did. I'm just bringing this into conversation for the sake of conversation. Women will just be like, oh, well, either you marry me or we're done. And he loves her and he's not ready for things to be done. So he marries her. And it's just like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Just let it end. She won't be the one that got away because she wasn't the one that you wanted.
I'm deeply, deeply sorry.
I don't care how deeply sorry you are.
And I'll spend my whole rest of my life trying to make amends to you.
As you should.
And to, show up differently, to lead a life of integrity, and to be a father that our children can learn from. Because you did nothing to deserve this, and I completely, suddenly, violently shattered our marriage, our relationship, and like, everything we knew. And
Good of you to acknowledge this, sir. Thank you. Because it was violent. Okay.
And that was all my fault. It was all choices that I made.
So where do we go from here?
Can I punch you in the
that's
face?
kind of
Allegedly. In Minecraft.
How we've been, what we've been working on, I guess, over the last 3 years. We can make new promises to each other as friends, as co-parents. What was the thing that kind of started changing things for you?
Maybe just time. Time and, I don't know, courage. And I mentioned making those authentic relationships, like finding those real friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I don't care that your life is messy. I really like you for who you are. I see your joy. I like every part of you.
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of your life. Like, don't push me away.
Mm-hmm. It was a real moment of kind of discovering who your
That
real,
always
true,
makes me cry.
authentic friends are, and
Yeah.
kind of then cherishing that, and those people that you can kind of be completely yourself with.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They're not just seeing a one-dimensional version of you.
Yeah, totally.
When did things start to feel a little more safe for you?
I think as I just got more comfortable talking to people about like what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and they just seemed to not care.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't a big deal.
It is kind of funny. It's like the whole, internet and people making TikToks seem to care so much. And then you meet anyone in real life and it's like everyone has some way to relate to some sort of a cheating story.
Just like all the parents at Wes's school.
To be fair, people in real life aren't watching you on YouTube. And I'm not saying that people in real life don't watch YouTube. I'm saying those people in real life aren't watching you specifically on YouTube. So they can relate to you. They can have these conversations and they don't give a fuck about it, because like you would do in your regular life. If someone comes to me and it's like, oh, and they're my friend and they're like, oh, I think my husband's cheating on me. Like we're going to talk it out. Like after they keep me from going over there and beating the ever loving shit out of them, allegedly in Minecraft, I would never resort to violence. Violence is the answer. I mean, isn't the answer. I mean, isn't the answer. Violence, answer. So the thing is, we would have a conversation about it. We would talk about it. I wouldn't judge them for taking that person back. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be like, oh, you're a fool. I'd be like, no, I understand. These are your choices. I would just caution you to be careful, but also know that, you know, in your choice to take back this person who has cheated on you, you also have chosen to trust them again. So that means no going through their phone, no looking at bank statements, no doing all this wild shit. Because when you take someone back, you're saying, I trust you. As we move forward, that's part of the whole thing, saying, okay, I'm going to trust you moving forward. The minute you start doing all this shit, like, you may as well just break up. Because like, if you're having to look at their phone, if you're having to check their email, if you're having to look on Instagram, Snapchat, like, that your relationship's done. Like, you're not, stop it. Because there's no point. Like, you do not trust them. You're not ready to move forward with them. And it's a really bad idea. Like, if you can't feel comfortable not knowing where they are every second of the day, like, please don't take them back. And that's what I would say to somebody. I'd be like, if you can take them back and not feel like you have to look at every piece of their social media and like all of this, then fine. But if you feel like you're going to take them back and you're going to be doing all that, like, baby, I'm going to support you no matter what you do, but I don't think that's a good idea, because that's only going to make the other person more resentful. You said you forgave them and you're moving forward and you're going to counseling. All this extra shit is not going to help. I wonder if he still talks to any of the other Try Guys. I hope the answer is no. I'm Scottish. Violence is always the answer. I like that. Yeah, I'm not babysitting a partner. I'm not playing prison warden, that part. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. When they take someone back, they think, I'm taking you back, so this entitles me in order to rebuild trust. These are the things I need to do. And it's like, no, those are not the things. As an unlicensed therapist, psychiatrist, and psychologist, those are not the things that you would do. That's not how you're going to rebuild the trust. That is a way in which you will continue to erode trust between you. Okay. To build trust, you have to have the other partner commit to doing things and then doing them. So if you say, hey, on Saturday, we're going to go to Ace Hardware at 10 o'clock in the morning, then you commit to do that. You have to show up for your partner in ways that you weren't showing up, pre-cheat. Okay.
Or, they're like, either they don't know or they don't give a flying fuck. They're like, yeah, who cares? They're like, it's one of many scandals. Like, also, it was 3 years ago. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
like that's kind of how I feel. They're like, they're sort of like,
right, because when you're in that school
cares?
environment, like, there's a bunch of different types of families and parents, and some people are together, some
cares.
people aren't.
I do need to get sponsored by Ace Hardware. I do. You a handyman with projects?
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I continue.
I'm sure every marriage or relationship has a story as to how it breaks down.
Like, it just gives you so much perspective.
Yeah.
It gives you so much perspective to just be in a group of people where nobody cares.
Yeah.
And it gives you, honestly, I think that is what gives me the courage to just be like, you know what? It's okay.
Right.
I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I can live in a world where this has happened and people know, and also we've moved on.
Right.
Like, I can go on dates and not have people be whispering about
I was just about to say, she fucking somebody. I meant that positively. because as soon as I got away from this relationship, she started to be like, it's fine. But I really was going to say that. I really was going to go, when are we going to, she's got to be fucking somebody else, because once they got into the like, and people just don't care. You mean he doesn't care? Got it, girl. Listen, live your best life. Get that good dicking down. You know what I mean? That doesn't lead to children. Just a good old time. Orgasm with an S at the end.
About me. I don't know.
Yes.
I just imagine a world where I can just be myself and not have this thing following me around. You know, where I don't have to, like, where maybe we are at a restaurant with our kids and I don't have to feel shame because I'm like, you know, having fun.
Right.
You know, where people are like, oh my God, are they back together?
Right.
Just because I'm like having a joyful time with my kids and my ex-husband. You know? Like, is that a crime?
Yeah.
To feel joy? Like,
Can I live?
can I live? You know?
Let them.
Let them.
Let them. Yeah. 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 I mean, we're going to Greece together next week.
Right.
It's like, life is weird sometimes.
Like, wait,
I
yes,
hate it when he talks.
like we travel together. It's we have a like a familial relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, she had to struggle for that one. She was like, he's the father of my kids. Okay. I have to put up with him because he's the father of my children. This is why when men say, oh, she got you for 18 years. No, it's for life, bitch. This is a sentence. This is a life sentence. Having a child is a life sentence. It is not 18 years. So like, I just think it's cute that she's just like, you know, familiar relationship. And I think people need to remember that, especially with celebrities, and YouTube personalities who can sometimes be celebrities, that like, when people have children together and they actually both care about their kids, they're gonna all like get together. You don't just like somebody isn't a custodial parent and then the other parent just like wanders the fuck off. Like, as somebody who's actually trying to be there for their kids, they don't just like, fuck this shit. Like they do take care of their kids. They go on trips together. Like, they go camping together. They do shit together on purpose. So that their kids have a stable life, so that both parents can actively participate with their kids. That is how parenting should be. It shouldn't be something where like, because y'all got to put aside your differences for however long you have to do some shit with your kids. You just have to. I know it's not easy. And I'm obviously not talking about like physically abusive, you know, that kind of, I'm not talking about that. But like, as parents, you do have to realize and recognize that your kids do in fact come first, and you have to put that shit behind you. To be fair, I'd rather not have a dad. Luckily for me, mine died. Listen, I am pro no contact if it doesn't serve you.
Yeah. Yeah, we've like redefined our relationship, not as partners that are romantic partners.
Yeah.
Those sort of like, you know, family or platonic partners and pals. If you want to say pals.
I don't think
feel
she
the same
feels like
way
that. That was a pained laugh.
It was kind of the social community.
Like, I feel like she looked a little pained, like, pals. Bitch, I am not your friend. I am the mother of your children. And while we might have times where we laugh and joke together, like, I still don't actually like you. Please. We're parents and we have children that we both love and care for, that you also want to be a part of their lives, which is good. But like, we're not, I'm going to need you to relax. Pals, my ass.
In school or wherever you are, that you kind of just start to feel less alone.
Yeah.
Where, you know, somebody that's your friend or like another couple that you're friends with just will say like, you know, hey, like, it was shitty what you did. And also, everyone goes through hard times and you move forward the best you can. And whether you are together or not, or sort of together friendly but not romantically, like however you want to live your life as your family moving forward, that's like your business.
Right.
Question for chat. Does it seem to y'all like he is trying to, I don't know, reconcile with her? Like really reconcile? Like not just because he keeps trying to be like, whatever, it is, not like family or like what, but like, and it feels like he's doing this thing where he's like trying to wheedle his way back into her pants, and I feel like she's just not having it. It could just be me, right? But it does have this sensation for me that he's like, because he keeps trying to define the relationship, even though she's already defined it. Like we're familial, we're just family now. Like that's what we are. Or, well, I think we were spotted with another lady, so maybe he wanted us out so it doesn't blow up again. Like we both moved on. He went from try guys to try hard.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And at the same time, people looking on the outside can kind of feel that nonchalance. And on the inside, it's like, what I did to you is one of the most devastating things I think that a person can experience. Like I understand why, broadly speaking, these like scandals are such, ignition points, because it's a lot of people can relate to it, and a lot of people feel so much pain around it.
Mm-hmm. And it can be both.
It can be both, yeah.
And it can be both at the same time. It can be both at different times. And it can be one thing one day and something different another day.
That's grief.
I have some days when I hate your guts.
Thank you.
And there are other days when I enjoy your company more than not, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It can be both.
It can be both.
Look at his face. Oh.
Some days are really sad because I feel the loss. But other days, I feel a lot of gratitude and joy for where we're at now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, our kids are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're worth every cent we've spent on therapy.
And that's why I think when people are married and they have children, or people who have children together, why these kinds of things are just so much more difficult, because like my marriage ending sucks for varying reasons, not because of the marriage itself, but because of what it represented when I was trying to be normal. And which is obviously overrated for me and all of the people who are close to me. Normal is overrated. But when you add kids into the mix, it's just like so much worse, because like I never ever have talked to, I actually I erased our entire life together because I am a Taurus. Okay. So I erased every ounce of our lives together. Every photo of us, like I went to Instagram, was like bye. Went to Facebook, deleted all. I ended up, I feel like deactivating my Facebook in 2020 because I had foresight, and before everything went down. And so it's easy for me because like I never have to see him again. Like I have zero like reason to ever interact with him, be in any space with him. I've moved relatively, in Texas terms, far from him because, Texas, everything's like an hour away, but like, or 6 hours or 9 hours or 12 hours. Texas is a very large state, unfortunately, which is why Y'all need to pay attention politically to what's happening here because it will find you, which is why I keep saying don't say things like move to a blue state because that will not save you. But I think that you can, when you're just together, like it's easier. You can just cut the other person out of your life and move on. But when you have kids, you don't get the luxury of cutting that other person out. You have to deal with them. And I think watching her do this is actually quite helpful, I think, can be for people who have been, in any kind of marital strife. They can see someone who sees the other side. And I think the reason that like the public in general, like we tend to react so strongly is just because like the image and persona that people put out, you believe in that image and or persona, right? Whether you want to admit it or not, like you believe in that image or persona. I've said multiple times that like there's nothing wrong with a parasocial relationship as long as you are aware that it's a parasocial relationship, you are fine. It's only when you're like trying to like make shit awkward and weird and like, imagining hanging out because there are people in Discord, we are actually becoming friends. That's no longer parasocial, right? So, but like, I do think that we see things in people, qualities and things like that we're trying to live up to. And when someone that you see doesn't actually live up to that shit, it is painful. I think it's weird that people get on you for like being upset. Like, why do you care? You don't even know these people. People care because like they were using these things as templates. It's not, you don't just have real people in your lives that are people you live up to. And that's a wild statement to make because like there's a number of people, celebrity, YouTube, Twitch streamers, there's like a number of different people that you could want to aspire to or things that they do that you want to aspire to behave like Keanu Reeves is apparently like a very kind man. He's just generally nice. Like no one ever has a bad word to say about him. So it's like, of course, like you would want that kind of quality. And if you found out that he was actually an asshole, it would be devastating if you were like, man, I was trying to be nice like Keanu. It turns out he's a jerk. That hurts my feelings. So I think people need to like recognize those types of things more and not denigrate or put people down for that because like, that's just how it works. That's just being a human being. That's just being a human being. We're going to relate to people on whatever levels that we can relate to people on. And I think publicly, one of the reasons that people were so upset is because he very much gave relatable guy who loves his hot wife like so much and is always talking about his hot wife. And so it becomes like quote unquote couples goals, hashtag couples goals, which, I have feelings about that, but like, but seeing her be able to go, yeah, sometimes I fucking hate you, but other times it's okay. And more likely than not, I would bet that a lot of the times that she hates him are the times that they're all together as a family. And she's just like, I can't believe you fucking ruined this. Anyways, time for me and the kids to go, People feel things about people they never met, and that's because they have feelings because they're people, 100%. I think parasociality is inevitable. It just depends on how you deal with it. It is inevitable. I don't think that it's something that you can easily just cut off. Because if it were, then you wouldn't have people becoming friends with AI and having romantic partners with AI, which again is a different story. But if people didn't have emotions, then this wouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? We would have the shells and we would put on that headgear to fuck. Some of you saw Judge Dredd and some of you didn't. Demolition Man, I believe. Okay. Judge Dredd.
Because we're
Demolition Man.
Huxley, what do you say we just do it the old-fashioned way?
Ew, disgusting.
That's like a big reason why we're working so hard to rebuild.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I would call it rebuilding. I think we're building something new.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to view it like that.
She shut him the fuck down. He said rebuild. She's like, no, no, it's something else. Don't get it twisted. We are not rebuilding. It's something else. Yeah, also in the case of Ned, he was capitalizing on the persona of wife guy. He had a show, a book, products planned. Like, it wasn't just some silly, goofy thing he said once. It was the brand, 100% that. Like, that was the brand. The brand really was like, I'm a wife guy. I love my wife.
The past is no longer.
Burn that shit to the ground.
My wife. Yes. It's very strange living and having a marriage while also having that be so like public facing. Did you ever feel that there was these like layers of like the public facing you versus the real you?
No, because I'm normal.
Yes, and that was always a struggle for me because I felt like I wanted the two to be the same. You know, I always wanted to be one whole person, and I didn't want to be like an actor on camera and like and then another person
Who called it?
in my real life. You know, and that's the funny thing about like being a YouTuber or being an influencer is people expect you to be one person in your real life and on the internet. And then when you're not, then it's like, well, you're lying, you know? But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's ironic because at the same time, I think what the internet wants from you is to be a one-dimensional character.
How so?
Well, you know, I think, you know, there's if you make TikToks as like a certain persona or doing a certain joke, if you deviate from that joke, oftentimes your like engagement will plummet. Like people kind of want to like just see it's like, oh, it's like you're a stereotype. You're kind of like that person, and I guess I noticed that in my own work. It's like the things that consistently drew people in were adorable family posts or talking about my wife, and then producers lean into that and like craft situations for me, and I don't know, over time it felt super pigeonholed and just like I had to fulfill this one like quadrant in a foursome to just be this like, you know, kind of caricature.
You're like put in a box.
I don't like the way he pronounces words. It's caricature.
It's very hard to like be a full person with nuance on the internet. There's all
Yeah, Hermie, like, and this is in this one small statement about content creation specifically, he is kind of correct. He is actually very correct, and I hate that, but it's true. Sometimes the person you dislike makes a good point. It sucks. You know what I mean? Makes you want to claw your eyes out. But here's the thing. He is correct. It's something I've been saying for a while. It's why I have such trouble, and I have multiple channels, and then I'm just like, I don't really want to put anything on other channels, not just because those channels aren't monetized, but because I don't fucking want to. I don't feel like I should have to split myself up into these other little things so that this group of people who just wants to see me tear someone down, they get that, or just wants to see my commentary, they get that. And then like this group of people who likes me to talk about movie breakdowns, they get that. And then this group of people who likes me to talk about politics, they get that. I'm an entire human being, and I genuinely don't think it's healthy for us to split ourselves up. I don't. I think that once you start doing that, it has negative consequences for who you are as a person. I think that trying to have an online persona has negative consequences for you as a person. Because like I say this very often about like Trisha Paytas, I think when she woke up to the harsh reality that she absolutely did not want to keep playing the game of like, I'm wacky Trisha, you know what I mean? And like having to do a lot of wild shit to get attention. Obviously she also, started getting medication for her BPD, but I do think I'm not saying like, oh, she's a good person now. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that having to keep up that persona is a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. It's more effort and work than I think a lot of people will credit people for, having to keep up that good guy thing. Like we see it happening with Jimmy, Mr. Beast. We've seen it happen with Cody Ko, trying to keep up this, like, I'm a good guy, I do this thing. Like it's separate from you. And the problem with it being separate from you, obviously, even if you're not, doing really weird shit in a Discord, the issue with that is that you can't ever really be yourself. So when you come to the internet, you have to be this other person, but then in your real life, like, that's not at all who you are. So like, in some ways it's like the blue collar comedy tour, you know what I mean? Where everybody, like, for most of those people, like, that's not how they talk, that's not who they are. And then, like, that has to be like their character, but in real life, like, that's not who they are. You know what I mean? So, like, if Mr. Beast has no haters, I'm dead. I am also dead. I said a long time ago, people just started, like, eating me up when I was like, I don't like Mr. Beast. And they're like, what the fuck do you mean? He does all these good things for people. And I'm like, you can do good things for people without, like, making them do the Hunger Games to get money. That's fucking wild. I don't understand what y'all are getting about that. And then they're like, well, in order to have the money, you have to do something that people want to watch. I'm like, but you could do things that don't require these people to do weird shit to get this money. Do you not understand the disconnect of that? Like, please, please. And that's why people shouldn't be brands. That should never be your goal. My opinion. You can do what you want with your life, obviously. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I'm not any parent of yours. I'm not an auntie. But, like, I don't think it's good for us. I think, there's a level of social media which I do feel has a negative impact on the people. Like, even in this, I don't like Ned. Okay. I don't like him, but here I am talking about him. Right. And he's going to probably, no, I'm too small for him to see this, so it doesn't matter. But, like, he's going to see a lot of these videos that are being made about what a shit he is. And even though it could be objectively true, right? Objectively true that he's a shit person. You shouldn't have to see that many people comment on who you are. But we do. We live in this age where, like, if I post a photo, even if I remove, like, my ability to see how many people liked the photo on Instagram, I still have comments that I can't do anything about. Right? Like, can I go in and, like, delete the comment? Obviously, yes. But I still have to see the comment to delete it. On the YouTube side, and I'm sure you can do it on Instagram, I just haven't done it, but on the YouTube side, there's a lot of words that I can block, so the shit just goes to, like, some other folder. And I know, listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I very rarely go into, like, the shadow ban folder that's there, because I don't have time. So sorry if you accidentally hit one of the magic words and your comment's gone. I'm very rarely going to go to that side of it. So he did not repent. He's not reconciling, but he is saying some real shit. Don't be a brand. I think that's breaking YouTube's #1 rule. Listen, that is why I will never be big on YouTube. It will never happen. It will never be like my financial, the main source of my financial income, because I don't want to be a brand. I just want to be a person who talks about shit on the internet and shares, like, my joys and, like, all the shit that I share. I just want to do that. It's one of the reasons why I'm on Twitch more, because, like, it's just enjoyable for me. And I don't have to worry about as much, like, editing it perfectly so that I seem not mean and, like, that. And I'm going to speak freely, I'm going to be who the fuck I am. And I'm not going to want to worry all the time about, like, how I'm perceived, because the people who enjoy it, they're in this Twitch community, they subscribe, they follow. Some of y'all throw biddies, love it. You know what I mean? Like, it's great, right? Like, that's what I enjoy.
Always sort of a performance layer.
So what are you going to do now that you're back on the internet?
It's a great question. I, for a long time, didn't want to return to the internet because I didn't see a way of. I didn't want to be myself. I didn't want to make anything. I didn't feel creative. And as time has moved on, I have a desire to create and to tell stories, but I don't really want it to be about myself as a character or myself or my relationship or my personal life. You know,
Listen, advice. Ned, you'll never see this, but here's what you're going to need to do. If you want this shit to work, you coming back to the internet, I think you move everything over to streaming content, okay? You talk about current events or whatever fun things that you actually want to enjoy. That's what you're going to do. That's the smarter thing to do. Stop making YouTube videos because the YouTube comments are ruthless and the moderation is difficult. Take your happy ass on over to Twitch. Listen, I know me giving advice to a terrible man, but I'm nothing if not sometimes fair. Get on Twitch, stream, and just do streams. You can do things like block certain words, like affair. And you can just chat about things that are fun and interesting that don't have to be about your life at all if you don't want them to be. But I do think that the YouTube move is not the smartest move, in my humble opinion, because I do think that people on YouTube, they don't really move on. They don't really move on, which is fine. But people just don't. A lot of people just don't really move on. The people who like you on YouTube, like they're going to stay there, but it's probably going to depress you to not have the views that you once had. So I just, listen, Audra, you're recommending streaming to an uncreative, uninteresting lizard. He would be like watching paint dry. Oh my God. Not an uninteresting lizard. Jesus. This was an awful sales pitch for anything Ned. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't think that this video is helping for him to move forward. And the thing is, any content that most people make is going to be somewhat personal, whether people like to admit it or not. They like to be like, oh, and that's, of course, a lot of those people are making AI slop and that's why they don't care. But there's always going to be like a portion of your personality that's going to come through. I just think that, maybe have guests on. You can still do your rock bottom ass bullshit. Just have like guests on who want to come on and talk about fun things, talk about movies. Just do that. And maybe not call it rock bottom. Just call it like entertainment with Ned or Geico Lizard IRL. You know what I mean? And that was rude. I should have taken that back. Oh God. Wait, not Geico Lizard IRL. Listen. Listen. I'm just saying.
I've always been drawn to things that make people curious and finding ways.
He does know how to sell insurance.
Their interests, and so I came up with I don't know. I see myself more as like a host, and more as just a vehicle for other people's stories. And I don't know. Maybe I can.
He said,
because of
I can do other things.
what I've gone through and my past, like connect with people and empathize with people.
Not him admitting he's boring. Hi, Moogie.
Yeah, no, you think you're interesting enough?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Ow. That was a hell of a burn. Jesus. You think you're interesting enough? God damn. Oh, Ariel, you didn't have to eat him up like that. Ouch. That was she said, you're a boring bitch. She's correct. He is not interesting. And Munchkinita said, I think he started this pod with his story to pull it all out there. I think that calling it rock bottom was a terrible idea because now people are really only going to go there for people's sad stories. I think you should not have put your name on it at all. I just started doing something called like an afternoon with, So instead of like, you just could have just call it like fun afternoons or whatever the fuck. Call it something else that wasn't depressing because you've already started off bad. And here's the thing. If you don't want people to be reminded of the shit you did, calling your podcast rock bottom Just talk to Tana about canceled. Okay.
No, I don't.
You think other people?
I think other
are
people would be interesting. And then that's regardless of whether I think I'm interested. I don't want to talk about my personal life or my family. Like, I want to keep our children out of the spotlight. I keep our dating lives private. Like,
Someday we'll find you with the rainbow connection. That's what he sounds like now. I'm sorry. Continue.
it's not a good idea for my mental health, at least, but I think also in general.
Sorry,
to
Kermie.
sort of make your whole life your brand. I want to make stuff that helps people learn things, make stuff that helps people like empathize with others, and the idea behind the podcast.
You are
is
not
to
the king of empathy. So
tell stories of other people's challenging times and how they overcame them. Because if there's one thing I noticed is that people really seem to care about the train wreck that I caused.
Would you say that was your rock bottom? Have you hit your rock bottom? Or do you think?
Sorry,
I'd say my rock bottom was. It's funny in the car. There was still a part of me that thought, maybe, because we'd been doing therapy, like we kind of had talked about a variety of things, and my rock bottom was. I think the moment for me is you like sent me a text that night that was like, I don't think we can get.
I'm going to hell. Who's coming with me? Not me, Ned, Listen.
Past this. And it's just sort of like my whole world crashed. I was like, oh, right.
In the words of Taylor Smith, she said, "We are never, ever, ever getting back together." That's one of the 3 Taylor Swift songs I know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's what I did wasn't in our boundaries or in any sort of like what I did was unforgivable, and there's no hope. And I don't think I slept that night. I remember writing you a long letter, and Veronica, that weekend I was at a wedding, and they like played our wedding song as their dance. And it was like black tie, everyone's very fancy. I was just like stepping away to cry every 20 minutes. Well, we only have a couple more minutes. I know we could keep on talking, maybe we will, but
are there any last minute questions we need to address before?
Are we together?
And bad. He did do it to himself. Like, I think that it's cathartic for her because she gets to have this space to be like, yeah, and be able to move past it. Whether she has like a public life or not isn't the point. I think that for her, she just gets to at least be able to show like she is not, some wilting lily. Is that what we're talking about? Is that the flower that we use for wilting? Don't know. But she's not a wilting lily, wilting daisy, wilting rose.
Ashamed of yourself.
Wilting.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Something that wilts. Wilting lettuce? Sure. That she has backbone. Which is important for women to be able to walk out of these kinds of scandals with their heads held high, because she wasn't afforded that before. So she had to deal with people thinking that they're still together and that she's a sad sack for staying with him And to clarify, I would not do that. I don't do that because, again, I don't know these people. You know what I mean? I don't know them. If she opted to stay with him because in her mind it was best for the kids and for her and for Ned to like actually have a relationship, that's their business if that's what they wanted to do. And I would not think less of her for it because we all make our own decisions for our own reasons. And it's wild for us to like input our own personal feelings about this kind of shit onto someone. Howsomever, he's the wilting lettuce. Look at his face. Howsoever, since that is not how it went down, I think it's nice that she gets this opportunity, that Ariel has an opportunity to show like, no, that's not what's happening here. We're not together. I'm living my own life. I am dating. We take care of our kids together, and that's it. Like I'm moving past this, and I don't want people to keep coming up to me asking and thinking that we're together. Like she's shutting that door firmly so that she can go live her life without having to deal with his bullshit anymore.
We are not together. We live separately. We are devoted co-parents to our two beautiful, beautiful children. Wes, who is 7, and Finn, who is almost 5.
Are we dating other people?
I mean, I'm open to dating other people. I mean, yes, we are dating other people. Yeah.
Listen, you see her face? She getting dick down. I don't know who's doing it. More power to you. She's getting a dicking down, okay? She don't want nothing serious right now. She's had a lot of things happening. She's getting a dick down, though, because look on her face right there. I'm so sorry. She's getting a dicking down. You know what I mean? And good for her, as everybody's saying. Good for her. I can tell when somebody's gotten like a couple good dick downs, and it looks like she has.
Sometimes you're not invited to the
I mean, I'm open to, maybe now she's ready for dating, but she has been, somebody been laying pipe. That's all I'm gonna say. Or I don't know about, whether or not she's straight or bi-curious. He said, anyways, we have enough time. We're running out of time, and you are burning the fuck out of me. I am getting embarrassed and humiliated at my own shitty show.
Will you ever be returning to some of your past work?
What kind of work?
Like your old podcast?
No. No, I don't think so. No, I'm grateful for my time there, but no, I think that era is over.
So what's next for you? I know that, you're a creative person, that you've been doing a bunch throughout your career, and it's kind of like, it must be exciting to kind of be like a solo artist now.
Yeah. I mean, these last 3 years have given me a lot of time to kind of express what I love. And
sorry.
I've gone back to pottery, which is something that I was really into in college.
Hermie, not you being like, how can she? You stole her subscribers.
It started out as just something that I wanted to do, just to kind of center myself as like a hobby. But I've gotten really into it, and I've been spending a lot of time in my own studio, and I'm starting up my own business.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. And we'll see where it takes me. Yeah.
We love a busy
Do you
queen.
think you're gonna be like a public, do you want to continue being an influencer?
Probably not.
Good for you.
Probably not. For a couple of reasons. I I mean, the first
that I got really pissed when people said that she was sticking with him because she's older and insecure. Absolutely love that she's doing her own thing. And this is obviously coming from especially a lot of men, because men love to believe that like older women are unattractive, which, okay, that's what you want to believe. It's fine. I am very attractive and you will never take that from me, bitch. But I think that it's interesting that they'll position it that way, as if men are old. Like, baby, you have dust loads and you're out here trying to act like a woman in her 40s is gross. Like, you are blowing dust loads to girls' faces and you have the nerve to say anything. Like, sperm gets old too, not just eggs, baby. Okay. That's why your son can't walk in a straight line. Remember that. So, I just think that this concept around like, oh, older women, they're like, oh, they're insecure. Like, they're, of course, like, that's why she's staying, as if men don't immediately get married after they get divorced. Like, immediately. Like, the ink is not dry on the paper, okay? The judge has not granted it, barely got the words out. These men are immediately getting divorced. So if we're going to start talking about who's insecure and who needs things, we just need to talk about who's getting the most third, fourth, fifth marriages, because it's not us. It's not women and femmes. It's not. Right? Like, your geriatric ass giving girls worms, sir. Sit down. Thank you. They're out here just like, when a woman's younger, she's more fertile. I'm like, you're not fertile. That is your worst sperm. I just need you to know, like, that is your worst. Those are the worst soldiers you have. Okay? Those are the soldiers that you have up there that are making it difficult for people to be coordinated. So, like, what do you mean? Stop it. Get some help.
The reason is that I really enjoy just making stuff, just making stuff in my studio by myself. You know, I know that like that sounds so silly, you know, but I love just going into my pottery studio.
It doesn't sound silly.
And just sitting at my wheel and getting so dirty and not filming it and just doing what I want to do and making mistakes and just sometimes making really shitty stuff and not having to tell anyone about it, you know?
Yep.
And the second reason is that I feel like sometimes, and we don't have to put this part in, but it is a valid reason. I feel like sometimes people who are on the internet, there is another standard of beauty for people who are on the internet, and I don't want to hold myself to that standard anymore. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I want to look at myself in the mirror and I want to say, fuck yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, are people going to notice that I don't look like I'm 30 anymore? You know, are people going to think that I look old? Are people going to think that that this is bad or this is bad or this is bad? I love looking in the mirror and being like, you know what? I look great.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, good enough is good enough.
It's a refreshing place to be. Huh?
It's so great. It's so great to be like, I look awesome.
She does look awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
I think he's over there. He's like, yeah. I just keep expecting that a fly is going to come by and he's just going to, you know? But it doesn't happen in my dreams. You know what I mean? In my wildest, best dreams, that would be the best moment. He'd be like, oh, yeah. And my suspicions would be confirmed. Ned cannot relate because he looks like dough that crashed against a wall. Jesus Christ. She does look great. Like, her skin is skinning. She's glowing. Her teeth look amazing. And yeah, I do I think that's another reason why, like, I personally, I don't like to film. That's why I keep trying to push more people over here. Cause like on the days where I'm just like, don't fucking perceive me, but I do feel like streaming because I love to stream. I enjoy streaming. I have a PNG character. I just throw the PNG character out, but I don't have to be perceived when I don't feel like it. I don't know what it is about Twitch. I can't really explain it or describe it. There's not a way that I can describe. Like if I don't feel like putting on makeup and I want to look like a gremlin, throw on a hoodie, like I can, and I don't feel a type of way about it the way I do when I'm on YouTube. And I quite literally cannot explain the difference between the two. I think the only thing that I could attribute it to is one is just like I'm live streaming. And then the other, it's I'm filming something that I'm going to have to edit very specifically. And if I film my videos in my like no makeup hoodie, my hair is just doing like my fro is just froing and doing whatever it wants. I fear there won't be people who would want to come see the video. They would just be like, oh, you're a mess. And I would be like, oh, okay. Yeah, there is like a level of that where it's just like, ugh, when I'm over here, like, I don't know why. It does not bother me. I will literally sit here and just be like, whoa. And again, you'll notice a difference. Like if I'm filming something, like this is probably going to go up on YouTube. I will make it more of an effort, but I have kind of quit doing lip products for a while. Like I just don't give a fuck. Cause like, listen, I don't like getting lipstick all over these, and it's harder to clean off. And I've had like 2, this is my 3rd one of these now. So I'm gonna have to pee real bad in a minute. I'm hoping that they're almost finished, and it would probably be best if I would stop talking, but yeah, I get what she's saying. Like not having to stress and worry about how she looks at every opportunity and just be able to enjoy herself. Also, I think she could be a voice actor, my opinion.
I don't want to look in the mirror and be like, I don't look good enough. I don't love that place.
I am hydrated.
And I think that being a public person, that you sort of have to look at yourself that way, or at least that was my experience, and I choose not to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, I also like love creating, and instead of making pottery, I like making media. So there is this sort of inherent, like if I'm going to be in it, yeah, you have to kind of think about what you're saying, what you look like, and yeah, it can be hard, but I'm happy for you.
You have to be. You don't have a choice, bitch.
Can I do as a co-parent and a friend to continue supporting you and to being? I mean, what do you want from me going forward?
Just be authentic. Just be authentic with your audience, you know?
Like, what are your hopes and dreams for the future?
I just generally want to be the person that I genuinely believe that I am. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like for a long time I've wanted to be one person, but I've lived the life of a person who isn't that person. And I'd like for those two things to be the same.
Same.
That's moving into your 40s, just by the way. Like that's a big part of getting into your 40s, is the realization that you have not been living up to what you actually want to do and or be. And it's not something that you get to high smoke. It's not something that you really get to do all that often. You know what I mean? So listen, I'm going to finish this. I'm probably going to be going to use the restroom, like after the ads, but we're going to finish this because it's almost done.
Yeah. And
what do you hope for the two of us?
I just want each of us to grow in the way that makes each of us happy. You know? I want you to be who you are, and I want me to be who I am. And I want for you to feel like you can be who you are, and I want you to feel like you can do that without judgment.
She's better than me.
The same for myself.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that by kind of moving forward more as individuals, we'll each be able to kind of be the best version of ourselves and to kind of discover maybe parts of ourselves that are less to the forefront when you're like really in a relationship. But that's for us as individuals, but for us, as co-parents, I hope that we raise boys of honesty and integrity and are happy and
I'm not going to say anything rude
feel
about
loved. And I hope that we're a team who tells each other what's on our mind, even if it's not always hard to say or easy to hear. That's what I hope for us, is to have a parenting partnership based on in laughter, in respect, and in honesty.
Me too.
Thank you again to...
No. So I'm like, no. So that is the end. What was our takeaway from this entire thing? If this was supposed to be his like launch of his podcast, I think it was not the greatest idea. I think, my opinion, he should have just left it whatever the channel used to be called, I think, and left it there. And I think he should have just attempted to start over doing something else, because again, trying to like rebuild your career means that you have to be willing to let go of the past. So I've come down here to the comments. I'm about to show you them, because I don't like, he did not endear me to him. I wasn't even a fan in the first place, but he for sure has not endeared me with this talk. I feel like Ariel, like somebody has, Em had called it before, she was really only on his channel and doing all of that shit because it was something he wanted, right? It was something that he wanted. And because it was something that he wanted, she was like, okay, sure. She never wanted this public life. And when you really put all of that into perspective, you very quickly begin to realize that his affair is made even worse by the fact that if she had never been a part of his channel, which she obviously probably just never really wanted to do in the first place, but did it to support him. If she had never been there, then his affair would have like had very little blowback on her in her like everyday real life. Does that make sense? But because she was publicly facing on the channel at times and doing all this stuff with him, it had to do with everybody, and it couldn't be something that she got to process on her own. So I think her just being like, yeah, no, I'm not doing any of this social media shit. I'm out of this motherfucker. Let me enjoy my life. Good for her. And then when we go into the comments, which I normally don't do, but for this, I was quite curious what the comments would be like. Supporting Ariel this is the top comment. Supporting Ariel is truly the only reason why we're here. And then somebody said he had a 10-month affair. He acts like he cheated one time. Dude had a whole girlfriend that was his employee. Yes. proof that his wife was and still is the most interesting thing about him. Ariel was so lovely to listen to in this episode. The fact that she is giving him not a single crumb of relief in awkward moments only shows me even more what an absolute queen we've always known Ariel is. Ariel, you should do a podcast solely about you and your interests and passions. We would love to hear it, and never think about Ned ever again. Ned sounded like a neutral third party interviewing Ariel as if he has nothing to do with it. Why is he even here? Like, some of you in the chat even said this shit. What is he doing here? It just, somebody even said, do not mistake the views from this video as a welcome back. My best to Ariel in the future. Her saying my ex-husband was the best part of the episode. I hope Ariel is kicking her feet reading these comments. I will never watch another piece of Ned's content, but I needed to hear and see Ariel as I've missed her so much. I just I love that there's not people being like, yes, so glad to have him back. And I love that somebody even brought that up in the comments, just being like, don't mistake these views for forgiveness. This is not what's happening. And this is the thing. I don't think that, in the court of public opinion, it is what it is, right? There's nothing you can do about it. Like, you can't force people to forgive you. I do think that you trying to launch a podcast called Rock Bottom was a dumbass move. If you actually want people to move past that, you can't call it after the thing that you've done. Again, people would be like, well, Canceled was successful, but Canceled had a lot of issues, and it's no longer happening. I do think that there is a level of trying to own your fuck ups, but there's another level of it where it just doesn't allow people to move past it. And why people can't move past it? It's called rock bottom. Why the fuck would you do that? I've been told it's been changed. I don't know what it is at this point, and I'm not going to go look because there's too much pee in my body. But I'm going to say, closing remarks, what an absolute bellend that Ned is. I don't think that this worked out for him the way that he thought it was going to work out. I think that he thought he was somehow going to come off looking somewhat sympathetic, and he does not come off looking sympathetic. As one of the commenters did say, it looked like he was just this neutral third party, Diane Sawyering his way through this shit. It's like, no, Ned, this was you. You did this, and you're acting as if you're interviewing some random person about an affair that they experienced when you actively were involved in this. And I did not know it was 10 months. Sweet baby Jesus, you are actually kind of terrible. Even more terrible is the fact that you thought that this thing was going to do a good launch for your new thing, and that you want to help people. Help people how? We're very confused. How would you help people? How would you help people to tell their stories? I'm so confused on what you want your life to be like. But how does that fix anything becomes the real question, right? It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't launch you past the mistakes that you have made. And if I were going to give you any kind of help, I'd just be like, just stream and do other things and don't have them associated with any of this. Maybe don't show your face, maybe if you like playing games, do a game stream without your face. Just do other shit, but stop. I'm glad that you gave Ariel this platform. I'm glad that Ariel actually got to say her side, and we actually got to see who she is, a strong person who has gone through this, who shouldn't have had to be this strong. Frankly, she shouldn't have to be this strong. That's ridiculous. She shouldn't have to deal with the weight of all the bullshit that you've done, that she's still going to be working through, likely through therapy, to get it off of her fucking shoulders and put it squarely back where it belongs, on yours, which she kind of did today, which I enjoyed, which I guess this came out yesterday. So whenever it comes out on YouTube, that day. So yeah, Ned, you can, crawl back into whatever hole you thought you were going to crawl out from underneath. Whatever fans you have, I guess they'll be there for you. You know what I mean? But you still do suck.